Hey guys, Paul from Radperformance here. I'm going to show you a video today about the secondaries on a Rochester carburetor. This is an 800 CFM that I'm going to be overhauling for a small block Chevy. And in the last video, when I did the teardown and the cleaning, someone emailed me a comment about they were having issues with the Rochester. Not specific to the 800, just the secondaries seem to be not opening, or just general power, not having power when the throttle was floored, so wide open throttle. I just wanted to go over and show a quick video about the secondaries and just give a little explanation as to what could be the issue and you may be having the issue. So the Rochester carburetor, the mechanical secondaries operation is very simple. So it works off the throttle. It has a linkage. This linkage bar right here goes to the secondary. So the secondaries are all mechanical. You have either a cable or a rod in your car, and then you pull the throttle and it opens wide open throttle. This is all mechanical. So you see it, they go wide open throttle. You have full throttle actuating. Now, the air doors, I'll show you on this carburetor, the hat's off. So the air doors are spring loaded. You have a set screw here, and then you have a spring inside. This could be tuned. So if you want quick release, or you want it a little bit tighter to be a little lazier, the vacuum, once you floor the gas, the Venturi effect, the vacuum as it pulls down, will open these air doors. So mechanically, the throttle bore will open. As the vacuum and the airspeed increase, you always have the primaries. These doors will start to open, and then they'll go wide open throttle. So that all normally works. Now, if you're not engaging in the secondaries, or you feel that they're not working, Rochesters are known for their noise. So on any Rochester 4-barrel, the Quadrajets, you floor the gas, you'll hear it. It may be instantaneous, or it may be a gradual, depending on how the secondaries are tuned. But people think it's a bog, but it's really the secondaries opening up makes that huge noise, and then you know the secondaries are opening. So what could be the issue is on the opposite side of your throttle linkage. Here is where the choke lives. This choke engages with all the linkage to the secondaries. More often than not, and I'm going to show you on the assembled carburetor, if you're flooring the gas, you have a secondary pull off. You see this linkage, and you see the choke is working with it, and you have a primary pull off. Now if you notice, it goes to the air doors. So when you start and it's cold, it all has to do with cold operation. The vacuum pulls this. These air doors won't open. This actually holds it closed. So even if this would open, it doesn't allow the secondaries to open when the car is cold. So you don't get a bog, it doesn't pop through the carburetor and backfire on an ice cold motor. This secondary also blocks it with this lever right here. You can see that. It literally pins the secondaries locked. So when you go to open the throttle, they don't open. So you're trying to open it, and you're only running on two little barrels, because the secondaries will never open, because this little lever is locking it out. So it's basically a secondary lockout based off of the choke. So for performance use, or whenever you're going to overhaul it, you honestly do not need the primary pull-off or the secondary. A lot of times, this is happened to be a Cadillac carburetor, they always did both. It was for the user experience. You started the car, you go down the road, if you floored the gas, it compensated for not realizing the car wasn't warmed up properly, it's too cold outside, they didn't want people with backfire through the carburetor or stalling. So all these little features were added to make it a smoother operating car. Now, in today's world, you're going to throw in a small block Chevy like I'm going to do it here. I pull the pull-offs. I'll probably won't even use them. When I get in the car, I'm going to start it up and let it warm up. That's why it has a choke. I know when a car is ice cold, the worst thing you can do is floor the gas. So I don't have to worry about it popping through the carburetor or falling on its face, because just give the car a little TLC and let it warm up. The car will thank you for it. The engine will. So you may, when these things are brand new and everything is working fine, you won't have an issue. But you may get it from a junkyard, you may get it from a swap meet. If it has all these things and none of these are working right, someone might have bent one of these rods. This may be jammed. It'll never let the air door open. This may be frozen or stuck or rusted into the secondary. So when you get a Rochester, you should be able to just be able to flip the throttle and all four should open. If they don't open, they'll never open these. So you have to make sure that the primaries will open into the secondaries. That will allow the air doors. If the secondary throttle blades never open, you'll never create the vacuum for these to open. So that's your first step, is making sure that the base plate is opening up. And if you didn't even want to choke, you can pull all this off. I'll go with the choke because I just want the choke for right here. Cold start, it'll help aid it in starting up. And after it warms up with your power, this will go straight open. And if you could even look at it with the choke, it's actuating these. This whole side of the carburetor is all due to cold operation. So don't fret, don't worry. You don't need to get the primary pull-off or the secondary pull-off. I recommend, why not get a choke? The electric chokes are the other way to go. Even if you have a hot air divorce choke on an older carburetor, you can definitely upgrade it to the electric choke housing. And just get an electric choke, hook it with 12-volt source, key on. You'll have less stress. Set up the choke. The choke has a fast idle cam that you can tune the idle. So when you tap the gas, this will lock when it's cold. So I can take it off. See my thumb on this side, taking it off. Now when you get in the car in the morning, you tap the gas, it locks it. It'll start right up. It'll be a high idle after it warms up with the 12-volt source heating up the little helicoil inside. I'll show you that. It's just a rheostat. 12-volt source will heat this. It'll expand and allow this to open up. And then you'll have a warm operation. You really don't need the pull-offs. They may cause you stress, especially if the linkages are not set up right. So take them out. Don't worry about them. Just make sure this little lever here is working, that it's not getting stuck. And you could pull this out if you wanted to. Take out the choke assembly and just pull out this lever. It'll never lock on you because this thing could be all your stress. This little lever locks, stops this from ever opening. You'll never get the 4 barrels. You'll run on, this is probably 30% of the carburetor. It's not even half and half like on the square bore. So you're really stifling power if you're not opening up the secondaries. It happens many times, especially on the older carburetors when they get rusted or just not taken care of. But check that out. That may be your issue. A lot of times it gets diagnosed as an issue. The carburetor sucks, then they throw it out, and it's just something simple. that it could be the lever, one of these rods are bent, or even if the choke isn't set up right. So I hope that helps people and helps you out if you're using a Quadrajet. I've been using them for years. I use Holleys and Edelbrocks too, but you know, the Quadrajet, it has its place in certain engines and street driving. So hope you guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe to the Radperformance channel. I'm also a reseller for high performance engine oils. And if you guys have any questions, put a comment or send me an email, and I'll be happy to follow up with you. So take it easy.